Time of day again. Welcome to another edition of the Vulcan Report with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave price trigger reports that we place in your hand each and every trading day. All right, so Monday is now over and behind us. Behold, there is a new day. Let's take a look at what the markets are telling us today. So coming into Monday's trading session, we can see that the market bias for the E-mini S&P 500 is to the buy side. We had a continuation pattern today from the rally alert. So we're steadily getting that upside production here on the E-mini S&P 500, and we do have a excuse me, a bullish weekly trend momentum reading. So we're expecting prices to continue to move higher. Taking a look at the Dow futures coming into this Monday. And we have a similar situation going on. We have upward projection. We're still getting upside production from the rally alerts back here. Bullish weekly trend momentum reading. What up to everybody in the live chat? What up, my man Mick? What up, Kelvin? What up, Loco? You guys know to do hit that like button. Loco, the OMG is not in my crypto database at this point in time. Perhaps in the future, I may add a couple more cryptos, but right now we got plenty. We just don't have OMG. All right, let's see, moving right on. So next we got on the Aussie. All right, so a lot of these charts are looking very similar, even though they're not the same. So we just got through the S&P, we just did the Dow, and now here's the Australian dollar. Look at it, same chart pattern as the S&P and the Dow. Bullish weekly trend momentum reading. The market bias is to the buy side, upward production continuation from the rally alerts. Now we had we're still right here near this top of the Kumo cloud. All right, so this is where our current resistance level is, and that's also another profit target as well. So I am expecting more upside production out of the Australian dollar. All right, so the Canadian dollar is a little bit different story. All right, a little bit different. So you can see here we're still in that Kumo cloud, headed toward the bottom of the Kumo cloud. Okay, and if you look here, we have the trade right now, believe it or not, technically speaking, it should be the market bias right now should be to the downside right now, since we are now technically back in a corrective state from this rally up here. But the market bias is still to the buy side for now. That could change. All right, that could change. I think what's going to happen is we're probably going to catch some people short. It may get down here to the bottom of the Kumo cloud and then reverse and head back up again. So this is something to think about. You got to trade what you see. You got to follow the reports, but the market bias technically is still to the buy side. All right, even as we're under the auspices of a technical correction. So we'll have to watch this one to see for certain what's going to transpire. Are we going to have another situation like we did here, where you were coming down, right? Now the market bias was down and everything else was down, but then it paused, head faked, excuse me, a couple of people, and then fell back down. Are we going to have a similar build up here in the Canadian dollar? That's a very good question. And crude oil is not helping right now. Crude oil is not helping. All right, US dollar index. Let's take a look. All right, so let's see here. The US dollar index here is the bias is still to the buy side of the market for now. But just like the Canadian dollar, we got a situation where we're probably going to test the bottom of the Kumo cloud and then reverse and head back up with a nice little bear trap here. Possibly. We got to watch and see. If you want to know and check for clues, you got to read the report and just follow the instructions of the report, and you should be all right. All right, taking a look here now at the euro dollar. The euro dollar coming into today, excuse me, the market bias is still to the sell side, selling rallies. All right. Now, it is possible that the market could come up here and float and test the upper top of the Kumo cloud here, but the bias is still to the downside. So there is a strong probability that this rally could be sold. It could be sold. If you want to see further precedence of that, all you have to do is go back here. Back here, we had a similar situation before the market fell. Back here, similar situation before the market pulled back. All right. It is possible. It is possible. All right. Just like we had an inverse relationship back here, market rallied. Here, market rallied. All right. So it's just the nature of how these markets are ebbing and flowing. So I'm believing that this rally that we saw today in the euro dollar could be sold tomorrow. Could be. We'll see. We may float to the top of the Kumo cloud before dropping. But these are some pretty interesting setups that we're coming into today. All right. If you move along and take a look here at the euro yen, the euro yen is kind of suggesting the same thing. All right, but this one is a little bit more of a coin toss. The market bias is still to the downside with selling rallies. Every time we rally, the rallies get sold off, just as they should, right? So the next issue then would be, okay, if that's the case, then we may float up here to the top and then fall back down again to the bottom. Remember, I've always taught you that when you're in the Kumo cloud, prices like to run the bottom of the cloud and test the top of the cloud. So they just move sideways. Here was that other situation. We had this signal here, and then what did the market do? It came down. All right. So that's kind of what I see kind of transpiring now at this particular moment in time. I see that happening again here. But make no mistake, the market bias is still to the sell side with rallies being sold. Once again, we sold here. We sold here. We sold here. So that's kind of the way this market is just moving right now. But just follow the reports for overnight and intraday clues, and you'll be all right. All right, looking at the pound sterling, similar situation, getting more upside production from the rally alerts. The market bias is to the long side of the market. The top of the Kumo cloud with the bullish weekly trend momentum is our next target. All right, let's take a look. Let's speed this up. Let's take a look now at nat gas. All right, so coming into today, as you can see here with nat gas, we came into this week with the market bias being to the sell side. We got this really nice downside production from the crash alert, which came right after the market, the contract rollover. So then the market had this incredible surge, as you can see here, right? Incredible surge today, setting up now for a rally alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading. The only caution is this bearish weekly trend momentum reading. Are we going to really take off and relock back in on the bull side again, or something else in play? Now, because we are now in fall season and weather starting to cool off, this could get us back above $3. We could be back above $3 in nat gas. All right, so just keep that in mind. So I am expecting, now that we flip-flop from a bearish to a bullish bias, that even with that bearish weekly trend momentum reading, this could fall off in a day or two. And then this thing could really soar. So again, I will follow the reports and just make sure you're on the right side of the market. All right, looking at gold, and then we'll finish with silver. All right, so here's gold. All right, so we had the market bias was to the sell side, but it seems we have put in a short-term bottom. Here was this rally alert. We've been getting steady upside production. The caution is this. We got above the trend line resistance, but now can we get to the top of the Kumo cloud with this bullish weekly trend momentum reading? That's going to be the question. Excuse me. So this is really going to test the weakness and or strength of the gold market. If we cannot get back up to the Kumo cloud, then we got our answer as far as the weakness in this market. If this little bit of prosperity gets sold off, then we know that we have a lot further to fall in the gold market. But with this bullish weekly trend momentum reading, we should be able to get back up above somewhere around the 1970s, 1980s in gold. So it's going to be really interesting to see when and if that should manifest. All right, taking a look at silver real quick. Excuse me. All right, we got, okay. So here's silver. Now, silver is a very interesting chart. So we had this rally alert. We've been getting this upside production. Then the market paused, and we flip-flopped from a bullish to a bearish market bias. We got no downside production. Instead, what we got was a rally alert. Then we got upside production today, which paused right at the overhead trend line resistance. So technically speaking, even though it was a very tight trade setup, technically speaking, the initial profit target of this rally alert has now been satisfied. The question is going to be now, is the market going to be able to get up to the secondary target of the top of the Kumo cloud, getting back up toward the $27 range? It does have the potential with a bullish weekly trend momentum reading that we have right here. So it has everything that it needs to make that successful. The only other cautionary situation is that we have been under a lot of selling pressure. All right. Even with the little flip-flops we've had, we're still under the broader selling pressure right now. So the question is going to be, is the market about to roll over with further to fall? Meaning, i.e., we're going to come and test this bearish pointer right here, which is pointing south of $22. See what I'm saying? So there's some question marks that we have to ask and be prepared for the answer. We may not get up to the Kumo cloud, even with the bullish weekly trend momentum, if this sell pressure remains intact. So far, it has. Now, we could get a temporary failure, and that would put us to the top of the Kumo cloud before falling down. What do I mean when I say temporary failure? Well, if you take a look here, this rally alert, we got up a little bit, but then we immediately spiked out, and then the market proceeded to fall, move sideways, and then another leg down. Is that kind of the same trajectory that we're seeing here now? Can we get a spike that'll put us at least somewhere near up the upper echelon of this cloud before a rollover? Or have we seen the bottom here and we head back up to the $30 handle? Big question marks. And these questions are yet to be answered. So in this situation, all you got to do is just follow reports. So that's kind of like, where we are right now. You got to follow these reports. Because sometimes, like just looking at a chart, it's not enough. You got to know what the algos are doing and where the big money is being moved around at. All right, taking a look now at Bitcoin. So in the Bitcoin, the bias, believe it or not, is still to the long side of the market, with pullbacks being bid back up again. The question for this one's going to be, can it make it to the top of the Kumo cloud, which is the next target for Bitcoin? That will put it around 11,400. All right, so that's kind of the trajectory that we have right now. It's no longer under the auspices of the correction. It has now been placed at a short-term bottom perspective, of which the market can actually put a leg higher in. So it's in a good place. Bitcoin's in a good place right now. Excuse me. as long as it can remain above the trend line right now, it's in a good space where it can get back up over that 11,000 mark, because that's going to be the real test moving forward. Can it regain the ground that it's lost? And that's what we're going to be checking for in Bitcoin. And again, the reports, I think, have been pretty much spot on at this point. All right, so I will take a couple of your recos here now. All right, the first one I see in here is CRWD, Crowdstrike, and it's traded on the NASDAQ. Let's see what we got here. All right, so Crowdstrike. So, excuse me. The market bias right now is to the long side of the market with this rally alert back here. We're getting nice upside production. We do have a bullish weekly trend momentum reading. So this one right now is on tap. I think the next target should be around the 155 to 160 price target right now on this particular stock. Let's see if I have it included in the PulseWave price trigger reports right quick. If not, then I can go ahead and add it. So the subscribers, you guys will have it. Let's see. And it will be on the next report if I have it. Let's see. Okay, we already have this in our reports. Excuse me, Crowdstrike is already in the PulseWave report. So if you go to your dashboard and pull up the U.S. equities reports, and it'll be right there for you. You can just type in the symbol or type in the name, and it should come right up for you. All right, let's see. Next one is a lithium play. All right, let's see here. All right. So Lithium Americas Corp. Whoa! Before I even talk about this one, let me see if this is in the reports. Because if not, this will be a good one to add. Good one to add. Let's see here. Interesting. The ticker is LAC, like the Los Angeles Clippers. Ha ha ha. Okay, this is also traded on the Toronto exchange as well. Cool. Cool. All right, let's see. All right. All right. Yeah, I did not have that in the reports. I just added it, so it should be on the next report. All right. So on this one is a beauty. Okay, so obviously the market bias is to the long side. And you can see here the rally alert back here. Since this rally alert, we've been getting all types of nasty upside production. This thing is based on this trajectory that we have here. This thing is on tap to hit maybe a $22 target. All right, this thing is looking nice and powerful. Do need to reconcile this gap sooner rather than later. And this gap down here, eventually it will need to be patched up as well. So one gap, two gap. All right. Other than that, this one seems to be very powerful. It's on fire right now. And I just added it to the price trigger, so you should be able to see that on the next report. All you have to do is log into your account and go to the dashboard and pull up the U.S. equity reports, and it should be there. All right, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got today. If you are not already a subscriber to the PulseWave Price Trigger Reports, what are you doing? Stop playing yourself and get on up in there. You know what we do. Don't miss out on these wonderful moves in these markets, man. We're seeing some fantastic market moves, man. And there are many, many more that are yet to come up. So you want to be able to take advantage of that stuff. Don't try to chase markets and get in after the fact. You want to get in on it before the fact, before everybody else is in on it, before it breaks out. You don't want to ever be in a position where you're constantly chasing markets. All right, you never want to do that. You never want to be chasing the market. You always want the market to come to you. All right, and the best way to do that is to go ahead and go to pulsewavetrading.com and subscribe to the report so you can know what's going on. You can keep eyes on your portfolio, know when to take profit and get out of something. All right, buy and hold is dead. It doesn't exist anymore. You need to know when you need to move stuff around. And the only way to know that is to know the movements of the markets, which are controlled by bots, controlled by algorithms and computer programs, no longer controlled by people. So if you want to be in the know and have an idea of what's going on up in the world, this is your best bet right here. All right, and with that being said, man, you know what it is. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And you know what it is. I'm out. Peace.